Hey, what is going on, guys? It is Needle, and today's video I'll be talking about things you guys can do to lower your ping on Fortnite, and I'll also just be explaining the importance of ping and what it really does when you're playing against somebody who has higher ping or playing against somebody who unfortunately has a lower ping than you on Fortnite. And now, just to explain to you guys what ping is, if you guys are maybe confused or don't understand it completely, ping is just a way for the game to check how well you are connected to the server and how strong your connection is. Simply put, the lower your ping is, the better. So when you go to a LAN event when they're playing all on wired connection, everyone there would have 0 ping. Think about it like that. So people that do have the advantage of playing on 0 ping online on Fortnite, it's like they're playing on perfect connection. So the lower your ping is, the better, and the better connection you have to the servers. And I'll cover this a little bit more in a second, but a lot of people think that your ping is determined by maybe your download and upload speed, when it really is not, and I'll explain that here further in one bit. Just to give you guys an example of what ping does though, so let's say if you shoot a player at the exact same time they shoot you, and let's say that you have the higher ping and they have the lower ping, their shot's going to register first just due to the fact that they have better connection on the server. So something to keep in mind, and I feel like the average player, I play in the NAE servers and I get about 30 ping, which is not terrible by any means, but let me explain my story with ping and how it's been kind of weird for me. So actually about a year ago, I moved into my new house where I actually got a lot better internet. I wanted to start doing things on my YouTube and start uploading more things. So I got internet that could handle a little bit more, way better upload speed, a way better download speed. My internet is a lot better at this new house. But the thing is here, I kind of just assumed since I have better internet in general, my ping would be better, and that's just not the case. So this new house, I get about 30 to 40 ping, and at my old house, I don't know if less people were on the Fortnite servers at the time, but my internet was not nearly as good, and I was getting about 15 to 25 ping constantly. And I remember early back at, when Fortnite first came out, when I would play solos at my old house, especially since there were less people on the server, if I made it to the end game of a solo, I would be below 10 ping. So I'd be at 5 to 10 ping while playing a solo game, which was awesome. It was crazy to play it on that, but unfortunately I cannot do that anymore. Now, hopefully you guys have a good enough understanding of what ping does on Fortnite and how it really affects your gameplay. Don't worry, I'll include some more examples at the end of the video to show you guys what 0 ping would look like and how it affects you when you play on higher ping. And by the way, this is Tfu's gameplay. If you guys have not caught on already, this is Tfu's, I think it's his first game on 0 ping when he moved into his new house with Cloaksy. So enjoy that, but now we are going to break down things you can do to improve and get lower ping on Fortnite. And before I break these tips down, I just want to let you guys know, don't get too upset if this isn't going to help you directly, even if you guys knew this stuff before. A lot of the truth with ping is that you can't lower it completely, but you can do some things that may help it. Starting with the first one here, which is the most well-known and the most important way to get the most of your internet, which is going to be just get an Ethernet cable. So if you guys happen to play on Wi-Fi, you don't know what it's like to play an Ethernet cable, I would highly suggest doing what you can to get an Ethernet cable in your house if you have the option to, and running it to your console or to your computer. So an Ethernet cable is just going to give you the most consistent connection, and it's not going to do anything crazy. You're not going to have any crazy spikes while playing. So basically this is going to give you the most consistent and the lowest internet speed possible. And to get very technical for the people that want to have the best possible Ethernet cable, since it does directly affect your connection to get lower ping or just better connection in general, the best one you can use is a Cat7 Ethernet cable. And basically this is just going to have more performance and better just megahertz. I think it goes up to 600 megahertz for Cat7 ones. So if you don't understand what that means, Cat7 is just the best you can get, and you can get a pretty decently sized one online or in a store somewhere. You can get cables up to 100 feet. I personally, myself, I have a pretty weird setup. I have my router in my other room down here in my basement, but what I do is I actually run a long Ethernet cable. I run it through some of my ceiling work and whatnot, and somehow it makes it to my room and I get wired connection even though I shouldn't. So there's a lot of things you can do. I did the same thing on my old house. I used to play in my room, which was 3 stories above my basement, but I would run an Ethernet cable all the way up my stairs and ran through a part of my ceiling again, and I somehow made an Ethernet cable work. So that's my biggest suggestion. If you don't play on an Ethernet cable and you don't have one, first, you're going to want to get one, and second, you're going to need to figure out a way that you can run it and make it through your house. That's basically the whole gist of it. Maybe you're fortunate enough to actually play next to your router or your just modem in general, and you can just hook it up through there, but if not, you're probably have to get pretty creative and run it throughout your entire house. And what I would suggest though, before getting Ethernet cable and then before putting it in your console or your PC for this matter, is testing your internet. You're going to want to do some internet tests. I'll leave some links in the description to some websites you can use that test your internet and just your Fortnite ping. So that'll just let you know where you're at and test it before and after. I can almost guarantee if you use an Ethernet cable and you're used to using Wi-Fi, you're going to see a drop of at least 5 to 10 ping, and you're going to see a big difference with your connection if you happen to play on higher ping. And to cover some other things for people that may not be able to run this long Ethernet cable or get one in general, I would suggest maybe a Wi-Fi booster, and that's basically just something you plug into your router as the primary booster, and then you can put the Wi-Fi booster and plug it in somewhere around your house. Basically, this will just allow you to just get better Wi-Fi and increase the connection. I know that was one of the big issues at my old house, was when I was playing upstairs in my room and my router was in the basement. A lot of the times when I was on my phone just browsing and I wasn't connected to my PlayStation on the hardwired internet, I couldn't really browse the internet just because my Wi-Fi wasn't making it to my room. So maybe a Wi-Fi booster would be beneficial for some of you guys that have the chance to plug it in somewhere and then use it for your setup. And you could use that with an Ethernet cable too, which would be very good for your internet. But I would honestly suggest the best thing you can do to lower your ping is get an Ethernet if you have it, or try a Wi-Fi booster if you're willing to spend some money and get that better connection for it. And to add this in for people that may not understand how you can see how good your ping is, like your ping ability, I should say, your ability of how low your ping can go while playing the game. First, to start off, I want to explain that when you join in a Fortnite game, a public match of 100 other people, they are slowing your connection down and going to make you have higher ping. So the later you make it in the game, the lower your ping should go. So in Tifu's gameplay, if you watch him, I don't think he starts at 0 ping, but him and Cloaksy were explaining that as the game progresses, they're going to get lower ping as the game goes on. So they started about 10, and by the time they make it to the final circles of endgame, they're going to have 0 ping. So the best way to test what your ping capability is, of how low it can go if it's just you on the servers, go into creative and just start building, because it's only you loading up on the server. That should tell you what your best ping possible ever could be. For me, when I go into creative, I get about anywhere to like 15 to 20 ping on my new internet, and then online I pretty much get 30 to 40 ping consistently. So that just shows you guys how you can test your ping to see what the best possible ping is. And for the next thing, I want to just cover where you can kind of check to see where the servers are. I'll explain where some of the servers are in the US here in a second, and this is just going to play a big factor on how fast of internet you're getting compared to the Fortnite servers. If you live right next to the server, you're going to get some nice connection. So let me explain where they are in the US. So if you're on the East, you're on the East servers. The servers on the US East are in Virginia and Ohio. I want to talk about that a little bit more in a second. And then on the West, they have servers in California and Oregon. First, I know if you guys are part of the Fortnite competitive subreddit, if you guys have just been around in general, people have wanted something for, central servers for the longest time. And, we have a pretty big gap here. We go all the way from Ohio to California and Oregon. There's nothing in the middle. So I really feel bad for anyone that's in, I don't know, it's kind of unfortunate if you're in like Texas, Colorado, anything like that. I can only imagine you don't get the best ping. So something to keep in mind though is if you do live in Virginia, Ohio, California, Oregon, there's a chance you have a opportunity to get a lot better ping than you should be getting. But personally, I live in Ohio, but I live on the southwestern end of Ohio, which I guess is probably not near the server because I don't get the good ping. But I do have some friends that went off to college more on the eastern side of Ohio, all the way in Athens, and they actually get 0 ping there. So I do know that if you do live in Ohio on the eastern side, there's a good chance you're going to get better ping, but I unfortunately do not. I know Aiden is from Ohio. I don't know where he was from, but he got pretty good ping, so I can imagine he's around that area. So it shows you though that depending on where you live, that could affect your ping. Another example I can think of off the top of my head is Aguilar. He's a controller player, if you know him. He plays competitively. He gets 0 ping from Virginia. So where you live is going to play a big factor and could change your ping if you do end up moving. Now, the last thing I want to cover here, and probably the last thing you want to try to lower your ping, but it does work, is there's a link I will put in the description. It's called Fortnite Server Status, and this is basically just going to check your ping at the time and compare it to the last 24 hours of the internet of whatever you have going on. So basically, it just runs to see what times during the day is best for your internet to play Fortnite. So just knowing how the servers work, if you're on the Eastern servers, you don't want to get on at like 10 p.m. or later. Like past that, there's going to be a lot of people on the servers. So think about like after dinner time, like 7 to 10 p.m. is going to be the most hectic, and you're going to get the worst ping. So something to keep in mind if you have something to play for. If you just want to play on better ping just due to the fact that you have bad internet, Might want to try playing earlier in the day when you know people are not going to be on, but like I said, you can go test it yourself on the Fortnite server status and see what ping you get at what times in the day. Alright, now that we got all that out of the way of how you can lower your ping, and I'm actually surprised I was able to talk so long about that, just because there aren't a lot of definite things you can do, but there are definitely things you can try to lower your ping if you happen to be in a bad position. But the truth and the reality for a lot of people is that due to the fact of where they live, the internet they get, and just kind of the situation they're in, because not everyone can go out and buy these crazy technological pieces like Wi-Fi boosters and get a longer Ethernet cable. I understand completely. That's just how stuff goes. I want to talk about the importance of ping and what it really does for those that don't understand. So first, I want to roll this clip out here. Keep in mind this is an older clip, but I think it demonstrates what ping does perfectly. So basically this guy is turbo building a cone on top of himself. It's just a cone above him, and his friend and him, they're on playground. He is throwing hundreds of C4 on him. I'll let this clip roll out and watch how he can turbo build despite being blown up by thousands of dynamite. And that's going to be a wrap for this one, guys. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. If you guys are new here, make sure to subscribe, turn on post notifications, leave a like on the comment, as well as go check out my videos in the description below. Go watch some of my videos, leave some love, show some support. Appreciate you guys so much. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.